Okay, guys, I cannot keep quiet anymore about this topic because I find it highly, highly frustrating that I have to constantly find myself in a position to explain to my African comrade how important it is for us to value our art, our customs, our tradition. You know, the fact that it's even a 21st century topic of discourse shows how far we have gone as a people, as a group, as black people, as Africans. It shows that we still have a lot of work to do on our mentality, on our perspective about the world. It's really, really frustrating. My journey started this way. I was born into a Christian home. Christian principles, Christian value was what was guiding my life until I traveled to Europe, to France specifically. Let me tell you what happened precisely when I came to France. I visited a museum. It's called Musée dapper. What I saw there left me thinking, helped me to realize and helped me to, to appreciate African customs and African traditions. I discovered that as a Christian, the first feeling, or as a Muslim, the first feeling you get is this repulsive feeling towards your tradition, towards your custom. In short, even towards your own body, you feel as if you're a sinner. You start feeling guilty of everything, you know. So I went on to say, okay, wait a minute. These folks came to Africa, introduced Christianity to us as missionaries. They told us how evil, how demonic our art, our culture is. And then here they are with our artifact, well preserved, preciously for people to come and admire and give them huge amount of money. And we Africans are busy demonizing these things. The worst part of the thing that happened recently was in Nasarawa State, where some group of zealots, Christian, I don't know, jihadists went to burn down a shrine. They picked all the idols, set everything on fire. When I heard it, I was sorrowful because we still have a plenty and a long work to do on our mindset. So it's frustrating, you know. So this Musée d'Appé, it's a collection of pure African art where they keep them, they preserve them. So I went on to make some research on the internet and I discovered that they replicated this system everywhere, all over Europe. And even in the US, you go to National Museum of African Art in Washington, there you see the collection of African arts they make there. Then you go to Germany, you go to Sweden, you see all this, you even go to Belgium. And then one of the famous examples is C.C. Rhodes in Zimbabwe. He uses one of this bird, is a carved stone bird, a Zimbabwean, the symbol of their culture. They have it in the national currency, in their flag and everything. So he used it as his Rhodes Foundation symbol. These fools came, from nowhere into our land. They saw some of this object. They know the spiritual value. They know the implication. They value these things. But they lie to us, which in turn we believe it. We took what they said, we burn, destroy everything, and then they take on this thing back to their home and appreciate them. That's how we keep missing. So we need to revisit things that we have been taught. We need to revisit everything we've learned, because we still have a lot of work to do. And we cannot progress if we continue to think like this as a people. See, we have two forms of slavery, the physical and the mental slavery. The physical slavery where you'll be bound with chains, you'll be wiped. But the mental slavery is one of the most saddest thing that could ever happen to any group of people, any person at all. Where an average African that accepted or adhered to the Christian faith begin to demonize his culture or try to become westernized. So this whole thing shows that we have a lot of work to do. And the first step to take is to recognize and to acknowledge that there is a problem and something is wrong somewhere. I was thinking like that until I discovered that, man, all these things we call idols are being worshipped in Europe. We have to do something about it. So go on, tell your people wherever they are, we keep our culture, we try to protect them, we try to preserve them and promote them. That's our identity, that's our legacy, you know. And an average Muslim, African Muslim, black African Muslims, you know, is sympathetic to Arabs in Saudi Arabia or, you know, in Yemen, somewhere. But these folks, they don't give a shit about you. I'm sorry to use that word, but I have to speak and express myself and employ certain vocabularies for you to be able to understand how frustrating it is. I'm able to tell you this because I was once thinking like that until I discover and begin to appreciate this African stuff, you know. That is just about it. We cannot live without it. So the better we begin to realize that there is a mistake somewhere. What you don't even know is that one of the greatest artists, European artists, Pablo Picasso, go on the internet, research now, you will see that most of his artwork are being influenced by African art. They call it the contemporary European artwork. It's funny the name, they say contemporary European artwork. That it's even for contemporary Western artwork, they call it. It's even funny. Because this thing they are calling contemporary is mimicked, you know, is a plagiarized African. Just look at most of the work they do, you know. Talking of idolatry, if you have a placard in your room with a picture of a Caucasian boy and a Caucasian girl, the other one called Mary, the other one called Jesus, whatsoever, you are practicing idolatry. This dude, the so-called picture you have in your room, you know, is painted by Michelangelo, you know, years after the alleged death of the person of Jesus Christ. So I don't see any reason why you, as a black person, in your room you have a picture of a Caucasian man, you glorify him. You know, it's cynical, and the earlier we realize it, the better. I'm sorry if I offended your feelings, or if I'm trying to challenge some of your beliefs, but I think we need to wake up. It is. I can recommend certain books for you. You can go on to read through the works of Sheikh Anta Diop, or you read the book the book called The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, and then you read the book of Dr. John Henry Clark. All these people, you will see what they speak about it. You know, it's not. I'm not. It's not as if I'm trying to push your mind away from another ideology into something else. I'm just trying to challenge you to think liberally, to reason the world, you know, to see things universally, not to have a rigid mindset or some sort of conservative mindset, because it leads us nowhere, you know. So we have to begin to understand that things don't work that way. Okay? Peace.